Today, I want to talk about what do you really want and manifestation. Big subject manifestation is, and it has been for the last few years. So let's talk about your wants. Let's talk about your desires, because when the want is weak, and when I'm talking about want, I'm talking about what is it that you do really want, your goal, your desire, right? In your heart of hearts, what is it that you want? When that want is weak, you'll quit at the first obstacle. So whatever comes in your way, whatever struggles comes, whatever challenges come, you will quit. And people quit because their want is weak, meaning the goal is not big enough and they don't desire it enough. It's not a burning desire. Now, we are controlled by mountains every day. We're facing challenges every single day. But what I think, and this is what I firmly believe now, after studying a lot of successful people, reading a lot of books, and what I'm about to say is something that I learned in the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. He said, you can either climb the mountain or remain in the foothills. And it's so true that there's many of us are just wandering around in the foothills. We see the goal, and the analogy, let's say the goal is your mountain. You see it, you want to be there, you want to get there, but you keep just wandering around in the foothills. People who remain in the foothills have never chosen to develop this strength of confidence and persistence, right? These people dream of fame, they dream of fortune, they dream of having a certain lifestyle, but fame is not a common suitor. Having that kind of lifestyle is not a common suitor. And here's why I say that. Fame only comes calling after a high price, and after that high price has actually been paid. And many people, as I say, they march around in the foothills and they refuse to pay the price, whatever that price might be. It could be in time, it could be in the challenges that are coming up, and keep going forward, even though, stumbling with challenges every single day. But you don't give up. Persistence is king, right? And that's the reason why, because as I say, fame only comes calling after high price has been paid. And people march around in these foothills and they refuse to pay the price. They want the time freedom, they want the good health, they want the money in the bank, they want the beautiful car, whatever it is, they want the beautiful house, dream house, want to live in a dream location, but not willing to do what it takes. And this is why most people don't achieve their goal. In fact, statistics say that it's only 3 to 5% of people globally that actually achieve their high goal, right? So the universe, or I like to refer to it as God, is inside all of us. And for this reason, if you speak it and believe it will happen, whatever it is that you desire, you can have whatever you desired. It's yours. And if you can understand that creation is finished, there's nothing else to create. Everything that you want is there, but it's on a frequency. And because you haven't matched that frequency, that's why you can't see that goal. You can't see yourself there. You can't see a tangible result there. It's only because you haven't shifted into that state. People who actually hit a frequency and they realize and they understand how manifestation works, and they understand how the laws of the universe work, and they work with the laws. In fact, there's a book called Working with the Laws. It's an amazing book to read, and if you really want to understand how universal laws work and how we're all governed by them, and how you can use them to your advantage, because you're all operating with these universal laws every single day. You're operating with it right now, this minute. But most people are operating it with in the wrong way, and they're using these laws the wrong way, hence they're getting results that they don't really want. And once you understand how universal laws work, you no longer need the rules outside of your world, in the 3D world, right? Because you're aware that you can create your own reality. And it seems to reason that your next thought would be, you're probably thinking this now, why is my life the way it is? Yeah, I work with a lot of people every day, and This is a common question that people ask. And I mentioned one of my favorite authors, Neville Goddard, who I've been studying for the last 9 years, but do diligently over the last couple of years. I'm thorough with it. He says to stop trying to change the world. People are trying to change the world, right? Because the world is only a mirror. It's a reflection. It's a reflection of what's going on inside of you. So a person can attempt to change the world by force, but it's going to be as fruitless as breaking a mirror in the hope of changing its face. Yeah. So leave the mirror as it is, right? Change your face. What do I mean by that? I mean, change your internal world, change your internal dialogue, change what you're saying to yourself, change your belief system. Leave the world alone, the outside world. Change your conceptions of yourself. And this is something that I'm really, really passionate about as well, is identity shifting, because that's what's required. You've got to build a new concept of you. You've got to change the conception of yourself. And if I quote somebody here, Mahatma Gandhi, who said, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." What did he mean by that? So many people quote that. I'm talking to Mahatma Gandhi, celebrated, of course, it was his birthday on the 2nd of October, a huge celebration all across the world that takes place. But be the change you wish to see in the world. What does that actually mean? That means you've got to change yourself first. You've got to be that person. You've got to do those things that you want to have in your life. You've got to be it. You've got to be it first before you can actually see it, right? Believe and you will see. Again, we've been taught this such a wrong way, that I'll believe it when I see it. You got to see it first in your imagination before you can actually see it in your real reality, in your world, right? So even within like manifesting community, I've seen it is one of the most misunderstood realities that we never need to alter anything out there. We cannot change anything that's going on outside. You can change what's in your control, but you can't change everything. People want to change the world. You can't do that. You can't change the world. You've got to change your world. Once you change your world, remember, whatever's going on inside is a mirror. It's a reflection, right? Everybody's living in different states of the world. There's some people who are really, really happy. Why? Because their inner world is happy. There's some people who are really, really wealthy and living the life. Why? Because their inner world is rich. Once you can change your inner world, the outer world changes. We simply need to modify ourselves if we want to be able to improve our lives and have whatever we desire. Because you are the only person who needs to change if you want your life to change. And that is all there is to it. It's very, very simple, but we complicate it. Again, that's our human nature, to complicate things, because we've been conditioned to think nothing can be that easy. Nothing can be that simple. There has to be hard. The word hard has to come in there somewhere. Hard work. It can't be so easy. It's also really important to realize that we are the only ones who need to change if we want our lives to change. We can't go out there and change anybody, but we can change ourselves. And it's not about altering your environment around you. It's about altering your beliefs, your behaviors, and your emotions, and our habits and perceptions, right? We must align our thoughts and feelings with what we desire in order for them to manifest in our life. Yeah. An example of that can be, let's say you're going for a job interview, but you don't really think you're going to get the job. On a conscious level, you're telling yourself, yeah, you know what, I'm going to nail this interview, I'm going to get it. But subconsciously, there's a fear attached. And subconsciously, there's an inner dialogue that's going on that you may not even hear, but there's a bit of a fear going on. And your fear has a stronger emotion attached to it. And because of that fear, because of the inner dialogue, do you know what, I'm not going to get it. What if I don't get it? Yeah, that plays out. Hence, you don't get the job. The interview went fine. You thought you did really, really well, but you still didn't get the job. energetically you are giving out a different frequency, a different vibration. And this is how it all works. It's so very simple and easy to get sucked into the idea that the world around us needs to change. Yeah, for us to be happy, for us to be fulfilled, for us to be successful. However, it's the exact belief that prevents us from succeeding in our goals, because we've got to learn to think that whatever we are seeking is already inside of us. And we've got to transfer our attention from the outside world to our inside world, because that's where everything's going on. Success is an inside job. I say that a lot because it's so true. Success is an inside job. And it's like I say to my clients, success is this inside job. Stop trying to change the world, because it's pointless. Since all we need to do is change how we view ourselves. How do you actually see yourself? In order to manifest something, we've got to change our beliefs about ourselves and our abilities to create and live the lifestyle that we want. That can take some time. Sometimes it can happen overnight, but very rarely. The reason why I say that is because a lot of our habitual behaviors and patterns and beliefs and thoughts have been stemmed in since childhood. So it's going to take some time, right? But simply changing our beliefs, again, this is something else that I want to talk about as well, is not enough. Yeah. So let's go a little bit deeper into that, because we also got to remember that what we desire has already been achieved. Again, you may not understand this right now, but bear with me. Because we've got to let go of the impulse to control outside factors. And we've got to have unwavering faith that things will work out for our highest good. Okay. Because you don't manifest what you want, you manifest who you are. So you've got to change who you are first. The secret to effective manifestation, bringing in what you do want, what you do desire, lies in this. And perhaps many people don't understand what I'm about to say right now. And it's this theory which explains why maybe your goal hasn't fruitioned, why maybe you haven't achieved what it is that you want, why that goal hasn't come true. Because you must realize that achieving your goals is not a struggle, it's effortless, as I said before. But we are raised in a culture that instills this idea that we must struggle to get what we want. It's got to be difficult. To think that we can have it so effortlessly and easily seems odd to the average individual, because again, that's the way we've been programmed. That's the way we've been conditioned to think, right? Work hard, because hard work will pay off, right? That word hard is a negative word in itself. There's a struggle attached to it. Whatever you choose to be real, it will be for you. Given this reality, why would you want to embody the notion of manifesting your desire is difficult? If you can accept the idea that it's easy, and through repetition, it will be just that easy, because there is repetition involved. That's how your mind has been programmed. Your subconscious has been programmed from childhood through repetition. Yeah. So if you want a deeper understanding of this, you need to be able to close that gap between where you are right now and where you want to be. Yeah. I hope that makes sense. And I'll give you another example when I speak about repetition, because thinking on its own is not going to change your results. Okay. You've got to embody your thinking. So again, your thoughts do become things, right? Scientifically proven and theoretically proven as well. Science and theology both agree on the same thing, that our thoughts become things, okay? Because they hold an energy, like everything else holds an energy. And as you start to internalize and embody your thinking, I spoke about paradigms, your habitual behavior, your habitual belief system, that begins to get replaced. We call it a paradigm shift. Right? So as your behavior changes, your results start to change as well. Yeah. And The other thing that I want to really mention here is when I spoke about repetition, think of yourself as a child. When you were around about 1-2 years old, a toddler, at that time, you didn't really know, maybe a little bit younger than that as well, you didn't really know what your name was. Yeah, your parents were calling out your name. You didn't really know that that was you because you didn't make the connection. When do you make the connection? Around about 1 or 2 years old, when the parent is repeating the name again and again, all of a sudden it clicks, yeah? And you turn around and you realize, oh yeah, that's me. And you start to respond to your name. Yeah, those of you who've got children, you will may not have noticed this before, and maybe you are realizing it, or maybe you do know this, that's why repetition is key. Our subconscious mind has been programmed through repetition, right? So how do we shift? How do we get a paradigm shift? How do we start to instill a new belief? Through repetition. That's the only way. Yeah. So that's what I want to share with you today. And again, I'm going to go into it deeper and deeper so that you do unlock this and you can actually start to implement this in your life. But if you do want a deeper understanding and you want to close the gap between what you know and what you do, and you really want to achieve some tangible results, and you want some accountability, and you want that hand-holding, you want some coaching, you want some reminders, as I said before, you want a community of like-minded people who are making it happen, then I'm gifting you a 45-minute free call. It's a confidence, mindset, and identity shift call with me. And again, the link will be popped here in the comments. Click on that link and it will be super laid back call for you and I, super non-binding as well. There's no pressure in anything. But I will share some things with you that will resonate with you, and you will understand why there's certain things that are not happening in your life, whether it's in your personal life or in your business, in your career, whatever it is that you want to shift, whatever it is that you want to achieve in your life, but you haven't up until this point, then there's a fundamental reason why. And I'll go into that deeper on this call, and you'll come out with it knowing exactly what it is that you need to do next to make it happen for you. And if we do think that this is a good fit and my mentorship is something that is going to help you, then I will invite you to be a part of my mentorship. And again, that's depending on what happens on this call. But I'm very selective with whom I work with. I've said this before, I'll keep saying it. So please book this free gift, this call, if what I'm sharing with you and have shared with you, if you can resonate with it, if it sits with you, then take advantage of this free 45-minute call that I'm offering you as well, because you will learn so much more in this call, and you will most probably make a shift in the call as well, right? But only book it if it resonates with you, because the last thing I want to do is waste your time, but also not waste my time as well, because time is very, very precious. We only have what we have, right? So invest this time wisely. So I hope that's helped. I want you to stay confident, stay strong, and be unapologetically you. Bye.